All right, folks, for more on this, we have John Carney, Breitbart economics editor, co-author of the Breitbart Business Digest, and Liz Peek, syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. Just as a starting point, I want to get to this net worth thing in a second and try to explain it. Liz Peek, I'm going to say people don't want the extra spending. They see what he's up to. They see what the results have been on inflation and how hard it is to live in the Biden economy, which is unaffordable. I mean, he's doing the old-time religion to buy votes. I don't think people want the old-time religion.
I think it's actually very encouraging that early on in the administration, after they passed that horrendous $1.9 trillion American Rescue Act, and inflation then 4 months later started to accelerate, people connected the dots. They actually saw that pushing all that money into the economy at a time when there were supply chain problems, there were limits on what you could deliver to people, prices went up. And I think, I mean, to me, it's just kind of heartening, actually, that people did connect the dots and blame President Biden for spending all that money and driving prices higher. I would add to your riff just this. It isn't just EVs. It's also about how we're going to get power in the future. Electricity prices in this country have always been benign. They've never gone up very quickly. Now they are, because you're forcing so much electrification on an economy that's not ready for it and demanding renewables and all this stuff. Larry, it's badly planned, it's badly executed, and it's really hurting Americans.
I have an answer to the electricity part. It's going to be a second riff, but drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
Okay, well, drill, baby, drill. It's not so hard. John Carney, this memo to which Edward Lawrence referred to, which came from the press office, Andrew Bates, they blame business for inflation. Business is to blame for evil, greedy, raising prices, not paying their fair share of taxes, and generally being bad citizens.
You know they had to write that in a memo because they can't say it with a straight face. It's just not true. This idea that there was some greed surge that happened when Biden got elected. First of all, if that's true, we should vote him out of office. He made everybody greedier. But it's not true. It's not what's driving things.
Hang on. This is such low. I don't mean to interrupt, but listen. Fighting inflation. Here. Standing up to, this is the Biden approach, stand up to corporate price gouging, which is at the core of the inflation fight. Major corporations are seeing record profits. That's a dirty word, 2 curse words. Overcharge the American people, keep prices elevated, and charging abuses and junk fees like airline baggage and stuff like that. Is that really it? Is there nothing to do with what Liz says, nothing to do with spending money, nothing to do with any of that pump priming by the Fed? It's all about evil, greedy corporations not paying their fair share, John.
I think they're getting it wrong when they think that people are against profits. The American people are not. When they say, oh, no, everybody's making profits, people say, hey, that's great. The economy, must not be doing that badly. That's a good thing. When they say, by the way, there's a contradiction in there. They say they're raising prices even though inflation is falling.
Right.
Guess what? Those things you can't be raising prices while inflation's falling. That means inflation's going up. What we saw in the beginning of this year was that inflation stopped going down, started going up again. That's the thing that they're most worried about.
Let's put that full screen chart on the household net worth adjusted for inflation. It's a very revealing chart. The red line is what? The red line is Trump and the blue line is Biden. Okay, what is it? Household net worth, which is about $160 trillion, a very, very big number, okay? Everyone participates in it. It's all assets, what you own. It's stocks, bonds, money in your bank account, treasury securities.
Housing.
It's your home, and all that minus your liabilities or your debt. Now, when you adjust for inflation, you see during the Trump years, that red line, plus 16% cumulative, very handsome real gain in household net wealth. The Biden line is flat. It's zero. The number is actually 0.7%. And Liz, that kind of goes with the other problem. Real disposable income, which is income less taxes and inflation. Reagan used to call it take-home pay with great success. That is also basically flatlined during the Biden years, having gone up by about 12 percentage points during the Trump years. So that's spend and spend, tax and tax, may not elect an elect. I guess that's the moral of my story.
Yeah, there isn't a single economic indicator that is better under Biden than was under Trump. I mean, that's really the bottom line. They would say, yes, job creation is better because they include in Trump's numbers the collapse of the economy, the shutting down of the economy under COVID. If you look at December 2019, Trump wins on that one, too. So there is absolutely no economic rationale for preferring Biden over Trump. It just doesn't exist.
John, you're talking about the rise of inflation, the re-rise of inflation this year, and you're right. CPI is up about 4.5% annually first 4 months. We got some charts. All these commodities are booming. Gold, copper, silver comes to mind. I think we have some full-screen charts for them. There they come. There's the overall CRB index. Yeah, got the gold chart. Gold's been just broke through $2,400 an ounce. Gold is coming. Anyway, while we wait for gold, we may wait for a long time. No, here it comes. Look at that gold chart. What's this all about? So, by the way, there's a copper chart, too, that also. So what's happening here?
So this actually would have happened last year. Biden lucked out. This commodities inflation we're seeing right now was delayed because China's economy was doing so poorly. That brings down demand for copper, brings down demand for oil. The other thing that happened was they held down oil prices by basically turning a blind eye to Venezuelan oil getting past the sanctions, Russian oil getting past the sanctions, Iranian oil getting past the sanctions. They said, OK, we're not going to pay attention to that because we want to reelect Biden. So they politicized the sanctions. That helped them. But you can only do that for so long. There's not more oil coming out of Iran. They're tapped out. We're not getting more out of Russia. They're maximum producing. So we're going to see commodities inflation this year that tells you that inflation isn't going away.
Does that bleed into the indexes?
Absolutely.
The indexes?
Yeah, it's going to push up the prices of consumer goods, not just this year, but next year, unfortunately. It is going to keep going because this entire electrification, all of the Green New Deal stuff creates demand for copper that's going to keep pushing up inflation. So your poll's right. The American people are right on that.
Liz, 30 seconds. Gavin Newsom stopping out gasoline and fossil fuels in California has raised the price of gasoline in California. It's about $6 close to it, but it's also raised the price of gasoline in Nevada and Arizona, two important swing states. What do you make of that?
Well,
20 seconds
Republicans
now.
have to go in there and explain why that's happening and put the onus on not just Gavin Newsom, but make it clear that Joe Biden's policies ape those of Gavin Newsom, and he's doing the same thing nationally.
Ape those. Wow. Hold on to that. Ape those. Very good phraseology. John Carney and Liz Peek, thank you very, very much.